Hey everyone, welcome back. Sorry it's been so long. I unfortunately was sick again and I lost my voice for 2 whole weeks. So I definitely was not about to do any voiceovers with a voice like that. It would have been so terrible. But for this video, I have a couple of Valentine's DIYs to share with you guys using mostly items from Dollar Tree. So let's just jump right into it. For the first couple of projects, I'm going to be using these heart-shaped containers from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to start by removing the top little section on the top right there. It has like a hole where it could be strung with like some thread or like, make like a jute twine bow or whatnot. But I just think it would look so much better without that on there. So I'm just taking my multi-purpose tool and just ripping those right off. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of sandpaper just to sand it down because those edges become a little bit sharp when you break them off. So next I'm taking a couple of candles from Dollar Tree as well, a red one and a white one. And I just put those on my stove for a little bit, melted them down completely, and then I'm going to be taking some hot glue and gluing the wick down into each side of those containers because I'm going to have a red heart and a white heart, so I'm using 1/2 of those heart containers. So I'm gluing the wick down so it just stays in place while I pour my candle wax in there, and I'm just going to let those sit and solidify until they become super cute little heart-shaped candles. And here's what they look like after they are done solidifying. And then I just need to go ahead and trim the wicks down. Obviously, I don't need them to be that long, but that was it for these first little candles. I thought they were super cute in the containers, but for my next project, I'm going to be showing you how you can get them out of the containers. So again, I'm using one of those full hearts from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to open it up so we have 2 halves, and then I'm using a little bit of petroleum jelly on each of the halves, so that way once you pour the candle wax and it has time to solidify, the hearts should just pop right out of the little plastic containers. And I did just stick with the red and white candles for these ones again, but as you can see, they are just popping right out, and I think they are super cute out of the containers as well. I like them in, but I also like them out. It just gives you a little bit of variation, so you can make a couple that are still in the containers, and then you can have some that are out of the containers, and then just kind of like lay them maybe as like a cute little table setting type of thing, or wherever you want to place them. So for the third little candle, I am going to be using another one of the containers, but this time we're going to use both halves as one little project. So I'm starting out with a smaller drill bit, and I'm just going to take it nice and slow, nice and easy, because I don't want to crack that plastic heart. But I'm just going to start drilling a little tiny hole right in the middle on one of the halves. I'm only going to do it on 1/2 and leave the other half as is because I don't want the wax to run out from both sides. We want to be able to close it up, and then you're going to fill it in from that top hole, just pouring the candle wax right in there. So that way we have a full shaped heart. It's not just going to be half of a heart shape, it's going to be a full shaped heart. So I'm just going bit by bit. I'm like going up in sizes for my drill bit just to make the hole bigger a little bit at a time, so that way I don't crack the plastic in half or anything like that. So here is how big I kind of got it. Just needed it big enough so that way the wax was easy enough to pour in there without kind of making a mess, but still, you'll see here in a second, I do get it pretty messy. I did try to keep it as clean as possible, but I don't think there's just any way around it, but it was fun in the process, right? So here I am filling it up a little bit. I forgot to put the petroleum jelly in because I do want this heart to come apart, and I just want to have the full shaped heart when I'm done and after everything is solidified. So I did pour a little bit of the wax in there, and then I'm kind of letting it adhere to the oh my gosh, sorry, I'm losing my words. I let it adhere to the wick and whatnot just to keep that wick in place, and I did let the half solidify on its own before I put the top on to fill it in because I didn't want it, the wax to kind of spill out everywhere. And also you can see I used that like wooden little scraping type of tool to put underneath the heart just so it kept it nice and leveled because it did kind of bow down, and I didn't want, the candle wax to drip out everywhere, so I just wanted to keep it as level as possible. So then I'm just taking the top half and the wick, and I'm just stringing the wick through the top half of that candle through the hole, and then I'm just going to leave it there and let everything solidify. So here it is. The first half is nice and solid, and I'm just going to keep that wick through the top half of the heart and then close that heart back up. And then I decided to take like a little cup or whatnot, and then I'm also going to be using a little medicine dispenser, and this was my idea to try to get that wax in there just nice and clean and as less messy as possible. I do end up kind of squirting it, you know, all over the place, but you know, it did keep it nice and clean for the most part. So I'm just, you know, sucking up the candle wax through the medicine dispenser thing and then just pushing it through the heart until that heart becomes nice and full and the wax starts to come out through the top of the heart. That's how you know that it's nice and full. And then once it's nice and, you know, completely topped off, you're just going to leave it there and let it solidify. You can see it kind of looks like a murder scene or something. I don't know. Kind of cool, but I did get, yeah, that candle wax a little bit all over the place, but that's okay. So then I'm just carefully taking that heart apart, and then I'm just going to pop out the candle from inside of that container, and then I'm going to trim down the wick, and then I took a razor blade to kind of trim up the excess candle wax that ended up kind of solidifying a little bit higher onto the wick. I just wanted to clean it up and have a nice like flush surface basically, and voila, that was it for this one. I love it. It's probably my favorite out of, you know, all three of the little different types of candles that I made. I think it's super cute. It's all plump and just, I love it. It's perfect and adorable. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Alright, on to the next project. I'm going to be using these little wood-shaped ornaments from Dollar Tree, and I have 3 different styles. And then I'm going to be separating each of the styles into a group of 4. Since each package comes in a group of 8, or a pack of 8, I'm going to separate them and make 2 different sets of these hearts. So in the beginning, I was going to be using my E6000 and the hot glue. I do use the E6000 and the hot glue for the solid shaped hearts, but I do not continue that for the rest of them. It was just easier to use the hot glue. But I am going to be stacking each of the 4, like the group of 4, onto one another and just lining them up so that way the outer, you know, the outline is nice and flush with the other one that goes on top and so forth. So I'm just making like a little chunky wood shape, I guess, using the 4 pieces, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other sets of hearts as well. So here they are, you know, each group is glued together, and then I was just kind of playing around with how I wanted to glue each of the sets together, and I decided to keep the solid heart into the middle on one set, and then I just alternated the variations of the other hearts, you know, so one was on top of the first set, but then it was on the bottom of the second set. Hopefully that makes sense with my explanation and then you seeing it as well. I'm not the best at explaining things right now, I guess. But once I had them all set up, I just took some hot glue and I glued each of the pieces together to one another, right where, you know, the bottom of the heart meets the top of the second heart and so forth. And then I'm taking these 2 little wooden dowels and I'm going to be gluing them onto the back of each of the sets. I decided to glue it, you know, at the bottom of the first heart and then all the way through the second heart and then all the way through the third heart. I just didn't want it to be showing through the top heart when you were looking at it. I was like, it's, you know, it's going to have to just be seen through the bottom heart. It's just the way it is. And I also wanted to give it some more length as well. So if I were to glue it all the way to the top, the sticks would be a little bit shorter, and I wanted to keep them like on the longer side. Here you can see they are glued together and they are so cute. They look like a little lollipop or something. But next I'm going to be using these little red tins from Dollar General. They were $1 a piece. And then I am taking some styrofoam that's from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be using my razor blade to kind of cut that in half and then, you know, trim it down as much as I need it to, just so each of the styrofoam pieces fits nicely into each of the tins. So once I have those pieces cut down, I am just going to be taking some hot glue and just gluing each of those pieces down into place, one in each of the tins. Next, I am taking these little black little gift tags from Dollar Tree. They're the round ones, and they actually fit surprisingly like perfect in the top of these tins. So I took the little string off, and I'm just adding some hot glue and just putting them down into place. And then I'm taking a razor blade to kind of cut a little X or a hole right in the middle of those, so that way I can now stick the little wooden lollipop things directly down into the middle of those tins, like so. You can add a little hot glue if you wanted to, but I figured the styrofoam should hold them pretty well, you know. So my last little step was to just take a cute little black and white buffalo check bow and I just added it onto the little wooden lollipop figure. We're just going to go with that. It's just a wooden cute little lollipop figure. We made a couple of topiaries, but I just added them where I saw fit. You can add them at the top, you can add them on the tin, at the bottom of the little heart section, wherever you please. I just thought right there on the little solid heart, it just gives that one a little bit more character, since the other variations already have enough character on their own. But yeah, here is how they turned out, and I think they are so cute. And here you guys go, the little topiaries together with the little candles that I made. I really love the black and white theme this year, and then just like a little pop of white here and there, maybe with some neutral colors. I think it is so beautiful, so stunning. They all work, you know, all the colors work really well together, and it just has like a classy touch too. It's like minimalistic, but it's like still just, it does it, you know what I mean? Absolutely adorable. Hopefully you guys like these projects as well, and hopefully you will give them a try. Let me know down below if you plan on making these, which one is your favorite, and let's just get right on to the last couple of projects. For this next project, I'm going to be using 2 packs of these little chalkboard heart tags from Dollar Tree. They have these year-round, so they should be fairly easy to find. I've had them in my stash for a while, and I thought they would be perfect for this project. So I am taking one of them, turning it over, and I'm going to be using a red, just acrylic paint that I've had on hand. So here you go. We have 1 red one, and then we have 9 just regular, the black and white ones. And then I'm going to be using some jute twine and a couple of raw wooden beads, and I'm just going to string each of those hearts on, and then I'm going to be stringing a bead. So heart, bead, and so forth. And then after I was done with the 6th one, the 6th set, I am going to put the red heart on. I thought this would just really kind of break up the black look, and just, I don't know, I just thought it would be super cute just to have a really fun quick pop of red in there, just to really give it that like Valentine's feel. And that was all there was to this one. Look how cute, but look how simple, easy, all the things. Love it. On to the last project, just like that. We are going to be using 2 of these little tinsel hearts from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start by carefully removing the little love sign on the top, because I am going to be using that later. And then I'm going to take these 2 little tinsel hearts outside and give them a couple coats of black spray paint. You can see that some of the red is still popping through, but I actually really like that. I think it's still really cute. It's overall like 90% black, and then you have a little bit of the red coming through, maybe more of a percent, 98% black, I don't know. Something like that, but you can still see a little bit of the red, which is really cute. And then I'm taking those love signs that I carefully took off, and I'm giving them a couple coats of my white Waverly chalk paint. Here they are finished, but I decided that I didn't really like all the extra little swirly cues that they put on there for some reason. I don't know. I think it was just overdoing it. It made the V kind of look like a Y. I don't know. So anyways, I just cleaned it up a little bit, and I think it looks 10 times better without all the extra little swirly cues, swirly doos, whatever. So once I had both of those trimmed up to my liking, I'm just taking some hot glue, and I'm just gluing those back down into place like so, and boom, bada bing, you guys. That was it, and I absolutely love the way these ones turned out. I think the black is so stunning. I love the whole vibe that this one is giving off. Super adorable. So I definitely am eager to see what you guys think about this one down below. But here is the garland and the little hearts together, you know, kind of where I placed them in my house. I just have this, you guys have seen it before. If you guys are not new here, my little farm window with the little shutter board things on the side, just my go-to spot to kind of stage in my house. And I really just love the whole feel of the really like white neutral colors, and then you have the pop of the red and the black. So beautiful, and I love it. Hopefully you guys do too. So let me know all about it down below in my comment section. Also, before I go, if you guys have not already, I would love for you guys to join the Dying to DIY fam. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And that is all I have for you guys. I'll see you next time.